Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to this project, which is Passion from Stamperia. And this is a project for Scrap and Create. You can get all your supplies there. I will have a link down below. And you will also have a link down below to the cutting guide for this project, where you can download that. Okay, so let's get going. We have finished of our base pages. There's 4 base pocket pages. We have finished 3, so we are starting on the last one. And I have this piece, which is from the 8x8, and I've cut it down to 7 7/8 by 7 7/8. This is going to be the mat. And then we are going to make this lattice. Now, you can make the lattice right on the base if you want, but I felt like it would be easier to do it this way, so that's how I'm doing it. And for this, I used this piece, which had, I'm trying to remember exactly how this worked. Okay, so on this side, it had these on either end, and I took these off in case we wanted to use these lace borders elsewhere. And then I cut 1/2-inch strips. This is from the 12-inch, obviously. And I needed 12 12-inch strips. And actually, you could use fewer, like if on these short ones if you cut them, but I just didn't want to deal with that. I just wanted to be able to do it. So let me pick all these up and show you what I've got. Now this is a 7 7/8 by 7 7/8 piece of cardstock. You could use any paper. I just happened to have this, and that's what I used. And let me show you how I marked it. You do not have to. You could eyeball all of this if you want to, but here's what I did. I took my ruler and I drew a diagonal from here to here. I don't know why you don't really need to see the ruler. Okay, so corner to corner and corner to corner. Okay. Then I measured from the, and actually I didn't even measure. I used a clear ruler. And I went 2 inches from that line and drew another line, and then 2 inches from that line and drew another line, and then I repeated that here. So here's my center line. I went 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. Okay. Then what I did is I drew a line 1/4 inch on either side of those center lines. So I just took actually a smaller ruler, laid the 1/4 inch down on the line that I had drawn, and drew a line on either side, on all the lines. And that's how I got this. So for this gives me my base on which to lay out my strips. And they're going to be a little wider than the strips just by the nature of drawing on the outside of the ruler. Excuse me. But at least they'll be just about where you want them. Okay. Now the other thing that you can do, if you want, is take a little bit of washi and washi tape this down. To your surface. You don't have to, but you can. That'll keep that in place while you're laying these strips down. It just makes it a little easier. Okay, so what you're going to do is put one diagonal. Then you're going to put, let's see, another diagonal. And I'm just trying to make sure that these are vaguely right side up, although I think all the stuff on them is kind of in various directions, so it doesn't really matter. So let's put that one there. Okay. And what you're going to do is alternate direction. So we started that way, then we did this way. Then let's do, let's see, okay, this way. Okay, and then this way, and you'll notice that I am, like on this, I'm not centering the strip necessarily because I want to get this pink flower. As long as it goes off the edge, you're fine. I can't seem to get that one centered. Okay. Pardon me. Okay, and then we're going to go this way. Right, so I started with the center and I went either side of the center, and now I'm going either side of the center this way. And I think I want this one. And let's see, I think I'll do this one. Get that pink there. And then this one. So we're not really weaving, but because we're alternating, you're getting a bit of that effect. Okay. Like that. Oh, school announcements. Okay. Now, one thing to note is if you've got these in about the right space, right, that's curling up and getting in my way a little bit, they'll just meet at the edges of this square. Okay? All right, so that's what we're going to do. Okay? Now, it would be easy if we could go ahead and just glue all these intersections and then we'd have a nice stable piece to move, but the whole point of this is that we should be able to tuck things into these intersections. So that's not going to work. So I think what I'm going to do is use some washi tape. Now make sure if you're using washi tape that your washi tape is not too sticky. You can put it on your shirt or your skin or whatever. Before you put it down. Okay. There. All right, I think I've got all of my intersections. So I should be able to lift this as one piece. And I can get rid of this. And where's my background? Now I think I'm going to put a couple pieces of tape here. Hang on. Just to help get this down. Okay, there we go. And you just want to place this so your corners are centered on the corners of the base. And if you do that, you can be pretty confident that it's where it belongs. And then what I am going to do is take more washi tape. Sorry, this takes a lot. And you don't have to do all the taping that I'm doing. I just, it would bother me if this was really crooked. So there. Okay. Now, my lattice is in place on my background. We need to glue only around the edges, right? Because we want to be able to tuck things under this in the middle. All right. Just got all of that washi tape off with minimal damage. And I think what I want to do is put a border around this. So I need four more strips. And I have this, and I'm thinking maybe just use this. It'll blend in a little bit, but that's okay. I don't need really a lot of contrast. So let me cut those. And these are the same size, 1/2 inch. And might as well just cut these to length while I'm at it. I'm going to cut them a hair long. I'll cut them about 8 1/4. Okay, and I think I will ink these. This is Rocky Road from Powder Puff. Okay, so I think I'm trying to decide if I want to trim it. Yeah, I think I'm going to trim all this extra stuff off before I do my miter. And I think I'm just going to do it with my scissors, because I can always go back through on my big cutter and trim, but I'm just turned it over so I could see the edge, and I'm cutting along the edge. Okay, so there's my borders. Let me get rid of all my extra little bits here. Okay, now with the borders, you can, if you want, miter them. I am not going to. But you know what I am going to do is ink this base before I do the borders, because I think it'll be easier. I mean, the edges aren't going to show up here, but the edge along, you know, the white core will show on the edge. And I'm going to ink again after, but I just want to get a little of that done. Okay, here we go. All right, so again, as I was saying, you can miter these corners if you want, and that little triangle that I showed you earlier would come in handy for that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do mine straight. And I just want to decide. I'm deciding which ones I want to be the longer pieces. If I want it to be the side ones or the top ones, and I suspect I want it to be the top ones actually. All right, so let's put the top ones. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is put these, the top one and the bottom one down. And what you can do with this, and I think what I'm going to do with this, is just glue the outer edge so you could tuck up underneath it a little bit. And to do that, I am just going to put my glue actually on the base. Hang on. Just checking to make sure my glue is not going to come out in a big blob. I'm terrible about forgetting to put the cap on my glue. And then it, you know, it gets clogged a little bit at the tip. And then it all comes out in a big rush. So, try to be better. Okay. And just lay that down, even with the upper edge. Pick it up if you have to, like I am. Okay, sorry, I had to turn away for a moment. I sneezed. Okay. And let's do the bottom the same way. We're just going to do a little thin bead of glue, please. Go. Same thing. Right along the edge. I have to clean the board after this. Now, if you want, you could make this entire assembly like 1/2 inch bigger, something like that. Including make these strips wider, and then just put the whole thing in your trimmer and trim it down to the size you need. Then you have a little more leeway with lining things up on the edges, but I just didn't really want to do it that way. Okay, so then I'm going to trim the extra off that we left. We're going to come back through and ink all this. Okay. Oops. Somebody's blaring their radio. I hope that I'm trying to talk loud to drown it out so I don't get hit with a copyright infringement on that music. Okay. There we go. So now we need to do the two sides, and they need to be shorter. So the easiest way I have found is to get a pencil, which, given the state of my desk, is probably the hard part. There it is. Okay. And I'm just going to turn it over so I can mark it on a lighter side. I'm just going to put it right in place. Right, and then I'm going to make a mark where I need to cut it. Okay. Right. And let's see, how does that fit? Perfect. Okay. I'm going to put that one down, and then I will cut the last one, which I think is over here. Is that it? What did I do with the other one? Oh, there it is. Okay. And these I do need to ink the ends now because I will not be able to get at them later. Okay. And then, oh, I didn't trim that. Hang on. Oh, it goes on this side. That's why. Okay, just making sure everything is good. there is a little bit of directional design on these little strips. I don't know if anybody would ever notice it, but it's there if you want to be careful about it. Oops. Just set it down a little bit. There we go. Okay, and one last piece. And that's the top. Okay. Not that it matters, I'm turning it over, but and I'm going to do it this way just because this end is a little dark. So this end it'll be easier for me to see the pencil mark. I say confidently, and now I can't find the pencil mark. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Right. I think I need to take just a hair off. I left the pencil mark on. I should have cut it off. That's better. Now it's a little short, of course, but can't have everything. Okay. Get rid of that. Bit. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. It's a little bit short up there in the end. However, we'll cover that with some ephemera and it'll be fine. Okay. Now just make sure you don't have anything else hanging over. And then we're going to ink all of the edges. We'll do the embellishing after it's in the book. I mean, not necessarily in the book, but on the page where it's going. Okay, there we go. Cute. I like it. Right, now I need to get the base, which is in a box over here. Okay, here it is. I'm going to ink this as well. Okay, now we just need to glue this onto this. Make sure you have an opening to the left and right. And let me check this for fit. It actually looks a little big. It is a little big. That's fine. Okay. Right. So I am just going to trim this down a hair. Okay. Oh, and I just need to re-ink that. I just put this in my big cutter and trimmed maybe a 32nd of an inch from each side, just a tiny bit. Notice, is it there? Okay. Okay, now let's try that again. Where's the opening? Okay, there's the opening. It's gonna go like this. And I think that's pretty good. Yep. Okay. This has very, very little overhang to play with. Yeah, what's up, kitty? Okay, I think that looks good. Hello, Holly. Now be very careful when you're burnishing this down, not to get caught up in all those lattices. I think what I'm going to do is turn it over. Burnish from this side. Hi. Hello. It just reached up and poked me. Yeah, hi. That's my big girl. Okay. Good. Now, what I'm going to do with this, I think I need a little glue there in that corner. Now, up to now, we've been adding our embellishments as we went along. This one, I'm going to wait and do the other side, and then turn it back over and do this. That way, I don't have to put this down on its flowers or whatever we add while I'm doing the other side. But let me grab, here we go. All right, so now you can put little things in here however you want. Oh, I left a piece of tape. I didn't even see that. I bet you guys all saw it all this time. Phew, came off. Yeah, wherever you want. Okay. All right, now for this side, I'm just going to go ahead and grab the things I need for this, and we will keep going. I'll be back in a minute. I am back. Got some things ready. So this is what we just did. I went ahead in the interest of saving time and matted this, and I used this paper. I know we've used this section of this paper in both the 8 and the 12 and other spots, but I hadn't used the point shoes, and I kind of wanted to, so that's why I chose that. Now, you do have a cutting guide to tell you what you need for this page, but I will tell you. This piece is 4.5 by 6.5, and then there are 4 flaps that are 4 and 3, and not 6.5, 4.25 by 6.25. These are 4 3/4 by 6.25, and there are 4 of them. You could use 2, 3, 4, whatever you want. And I have some pink seam binding. You could use white if you want, or beige, or any other color. But what I need to do is attach this to the back of the smaller piece. And I've inked everything, as you can see. And I'm just eyeballing the center. I'm fine with that. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking for my, here it is. Bone folder under my hand. Okay. And I'm just going to place this there, just to have it about where I need it. And then this, I am going to center top to bottom and right up against this edge of this print. Now you can center it if you prefer, but I'm just using that line as my guide. Okay. Definitely too much glue there. I keep forgetting that I don't have to squeeze this bottle. I end up with too much glue. Okay. Now, I want to make sure that these pieces of seam binding are nice and flat and not caught up in anything. Don't press anything down until you're sure it's where you want it. I think that looks good. Okay. And I thought about doing this as a pocket, but I felt like I have enough going on, and that can be kind of a pain with the seam binding. Okay, there we go. Now we are going to attach these. And honestly, you can put, like I said, you can do as many as you want. You can put them in whatever order you want. And I'm just double checking how I want to put these. I think I'm going to start on this side because I am going to use 4. And 4, yeah, because I want the first one to open like a book. It's just more intuitive for people. At least people who are used to books that open in that direction. Not all do, but and I'm just going to turn this way. We're just going to line this up with the edge of this card. And down. Okay, and then the next one will be on the opposite side on top of this card. And like I said, you could do 2, you could do 3, 4, however many of these you want, you can do. The other side. And this is kind of an alternative to doing a waterfall, and it will hold a lot of pictures. That one. Okay, and last one on this side. that one's a little low, but that's okay. There we go. And then this is just going to get tied like this. Okay. Cute. Okay. Now, we need mats. And I have got to get ready for work, so what I am going to do is stop now. I will be back most likely tomorrow, a few seconds for you, and we will finish matting this, and then that'll be the end of this video, and then in the next video we will put it all together into the cover. Okay, so I am back, and let me untie this. What I did is cut just this one mat, and I will tell you why in a moment. Let me go ahead and get this inked. I think I may have already inked it, to tell you the truth. Okay. Okay. And let me go ahead and get this one down. Make sure it's right side up. Okay, that looks good. And I have no idea what I do with my baby wipe. Well, I'll grab a new one. Okay, so the reason I only did one is I think I'm going to come back through later and do solid mats on all the rest of these areas, because these are clearly where photos are going to go. And I'm just not sure how much of pink cardstock I have, so I haven't cut it yet. But I'm going to call that done. Okay. And we haven't done any embellishing other than this ribbon on these two pages. I think I'll wait until I get it in the book for that. So I'm going to call this done. And let me grab these. All right, so here's all of our pages, kind of chunky. Go ahead and make the cover. The dimensions are in the cutting guide, and there's directions for how to make a cover in my Construction Basics playlist, which I will try to remember to link here, and also down below if I remember. Go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and make your hinge, but don't put it in the book, because we're going to do something a little different with it. Or you can just cut it and wait and see in the next video what to do from there. So I will see you next time. We will make our hinge, get it into the book, and get the pages into the book, and we'll see how far we get beyond that. So I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to visit Scrap and Create to get your supplies for this project. This is a design project for Scrap and Create. The cutting guide is down below, so you can go ahead and get that. It's free. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.